look towards the future. And we are blessed because Bruce left us in a position with multiple head coaches on our coaching staff. And when we started this discussion and he was talking to us about Todd, really it wasn't even necessary. Getting to know Todd over the last 3 years, what's become clear to us is his leadership ability, the way he brings along young players, the respect our team and our players have for him, his mind, his creativity, his work ethic, the person he is, the family he has. For us, it was really an easy choice. You know, Todd's had a storied career in the National Football League. We all know what happened, Super Bowl 55, the unbelievable performance, the defensive performance against the Kansas City Chiefs. He came in here a couple years ago where our defense was struggling. Came in, put his head down, got to work, and showed all the traits that one would look for in a head coach. And when you see him interacting with the players, like I said, the respect he has, heck, he's even developing players in his own household with his son, who everyone wants to recruit. It's really a pleasure, it's an honor to have Todd lead us into the future. So with that, I think Jason's going to say a few words, and we're very, very excited.
Well, it's going to be hard to top that. I will just basically echo everything that Joel said. But I first met Todd, and we worked together in 2013. And I was the number 2 in the personnel department. He was a coordinator, so we were kind of on the same path. And so we worked a lot together. And we formed a very strong personal and professional bond that little did I know at that time was going to carry over 6 years later here. And it's gotten even better. He's a phenomenal person, great family man, talks about his family all the time. He's a mentor to a lot of people in this building, not just the players, but other coaches, staff members. You'll often find people in his office, just him offering advice on how to just be a better person. I know he gets a lot of that from Bruce. Tremendous leader and has rare intelligence and obviously a great football mind. So it's going to be a pleasure to work with you. It's going to be a great transition for us, thanks to Bruce bringing you and the other multiple head coaching candidates that we have on our roster, on our staff. But it's going to be a pleasure to work with you and get to know you even better. So with that, I'll introduce Todd.
First, it's kind of bittersweet for me, obviously, with Coach Arians stepping down. He's been in my life for, maybe 4 decades, so to speak. Again, not dating how old we are, but, you know, I've gone from being a son to a nephew, to a cousin, to a brother, and we've grown over the years immensely, and I'm sure the staff, the coaches on the staff can say the same thing. There's not one person on this staff that he hasn't touched in some kind of way, personally, and in their personal lives as well as coaching lives. So for us as a coaching staff, you know, he would sorely be missed because when Bruce walks in the room, there's a big presence when he walks in the room. The only thing we have in common probably is our bald heads at this point, but he smokes, I don't, he drinks, I don't, so we got along well because we never got in each other's way. So from that category, but you know, speaking to me personally, from a man to a point, he will probably be, if not probably, definitely is the most influential coaching figure, father figure, speak, that I've ever had in my life in this league, so as long as I shall live or continue to be in this league. And I just want to thank him personally before I go on, just face to face, so the whole world knows what he's meant to me, what he means to our coaching staff, what he means as a family man, what he means as just hearing advice from us, taking advice from us, cracking the whip, understanding who's in the building, being comfortable in his skin, making everyone else feel comfortable in their skin, and allowing us to coach football. You don't get that everywhere, okay? You don't get that everywhere. He teaches, he takes advice, he understands, and that's what you need to be a good leader. And I will try to do that going forward. We have plenty of guys on this staff, coaching-wise, that are great leaders, great men, great individuals, and fun to be around. We're not changing the program, we're trying to add on, because when you don't win a Super Bowl, despite the record, we're good enough, but not great. And we got to tweak some things and do better as ourselves, as coaches, which we'll go on to do, as well as try to teach that to the players so we can go on to do that. But as a man today, from the coaching staff and myself, we send our respect out to Coach Arians. Now, I have a lot of people that I like to thank. I can only name a few. First, starting with my family. My oldest son couldn't be here, he's in college, but my wife, Tanika, who takes care of everything and everybody at all times and is the head of the household, despite I think I'm head of the household. And Troy and Tyson, I can't say enough about. You know, it's a joy to go home and enjoy coming home from work when I do have to come home. I'd like to thank the Glazer family for giving me this opportunity, you know, getting to know Ed, Brian, Darcy, Joel, the entire Glazer family over the past 3 years have been a straight joy for me. Nothing but a class act. Great people, not just great owners, great people individually, and they're all different in their own right, and they're all very respectful. I have a great deal of respect for. They understand the game, they understand the business, and they're very easy to talk to, so I look forward to continuing that relationship. I would like to thank the Glazer family for giving me that opportunity. Like Jason said, you know, we've known each other since Arizona. We have a great working relationship and personal relationship, as well as a lot of other guys on the scouting staff side and the personnel side, Beal and Spytech, to name a few, obviously, but I look forward to that. I may not be the coolest guy he'll ever meet, but I'm pretty damn chilled myself. So. But, you know, I'll take that, and Bruce will always be the coolest, so I'll go over to the chill category, and I'll try to start something there. But you know, it's a great opportunity today. Bittersweet, but sweet. He's happy, he's healthy, I'm happy, he's healthy, we're happy, he's healthy. And we're going to try to continue on and do a lot of things that we've done. For me, myself, the defensive side of the ball knows me pretty good. I'm pretty sarcastic, as despite you guys thinking I'm very quiet, I'm probably the most talking and shit guy on the field at practice time. So, you know, that'll come out pretty soon. The offensive guys know me. They'll get to know me a little bit more from that aspect. I think we got a great group, I think core group to carry on. You know, we have an offense, we have a defense, we have to coach it better, we have to play it better. I'll say that every time we lose a ball game. So, and that's a fact because we're in this thing together. We're in this thing together. We're going to ride this wave. I look forward to getting to call the teammates, especially on offense. I will call each and every individual. Whether they answer or not, we'll see. But we got to get this thing going, and we want to get back on track. And you should have a sour taste in your mouth after last year. I know I still do, and that's all the time when you don't win the big one. That's common knowledge and common sense. So we're going to get this train moving the right way. I'm excited for this opportunity. When Bruce and the Glazers turned this over to me, Bruce being the head man and allowing the Glazers, it wasn't just Bruce, it was the Glazer family that had to turn it over to me as well because they run this building. Jason had to turn it over to me, and a lot of people had to be in agreement for this to happen. This is not a one-man show. So from ownership, general managers, head coaches on down to make this decision, I feel very humbled. I feel very honored. I feel very excited. I'm ready to go, and we'll try and get this thing rolling.
Thank you, Coach. We're going to go ahead and open it up to a question and answer session here now. If you can please, again, raise your hand, and a microphone will be extended.
Hey, Todd. Just wondering what the biggest learning lesson was after your experience in New York and what you're bringing here to the Bucs.
I think when you take a head job, you know you have to wear a lot of hats, but you don't ever experience wearing those hats. And when you understand that going in without the experience, I think you tend to do things a little differently. And you have to be man enough to know when you can change things. Usually when people get fired, they blame everybody else. The first thing I did was look within myself. And there were a lot of things I can do better that Bruce gave me warning signs for when I left Arizona that I saw in New York firsthand. And a lot of things transpired to run a building and putting the right hat on at the right time and understanding the right people at the right time. Instead of lumping everything in one whole lump and dealing with it that way, you have to treat it individually. and you can't sweat the small stuff, and you got to move on from there. And I think that experience has helped me become and stand right where I am today and be a better coach going forward.
Hey, Todd. Greg Allman over here. Congratulations. When Bruce stood there 3 years ago, he talked about how comfortable he was because of the coaching staff he was able to bring here to Tampa. You've worked with just about everybody on this staff for 3 years, which is more than most new head coaches can say. I just want to ask you about the confidence and the comfort that you have from that, and how you'll handle splitting up the defensive duties now as well.
Well, the comfort level is outstanding. I've worked with most of these guys for more than 3 years. We were together in either Arizona, New York, or somewhere else. So the comfort level, Byron, Goody, Casey, Foote, Ross, Rapone, Gilbert, McNair, everybody is very comfortable from that standpoint. We all know each other. We all get along. We all are our own individual leaders, but come together collectively as coaches to make us a better team, and that's what we're going to continue to do. It's not about who's the smartest. It's about us coming to an agreement and being right and being on the same page when we play, regardless of what side of the ball it's on. And Bruce has taught us that, and we're going to carry that on. As far as defensive duties, there'll be co-DCs with Casey Rogers and Larry Foote to carry on. I will still call it this year, but they will run a lot of the defense going forward.
Todd, congratulations.
Thank you.
Todd, starting today, you're the public face of a franchise that kind of is in the forefront of NFL diversity. How much does that mean to you?
It means a lot. You know, being a person of color, you want to get hired off of your ability, you know, but as a kid, to see some people like us in these places and in these jobs, it gives hope to a lot of people. You don't coach for that reason, but being a kid growing up and going around neighborhoods and speaking to people, you understand the impact that it has on their lives, and we just try to be the best coaches we can be going forward. And you got to credit Bruce to giving everyone a chance, and everyone on this staff understands the difference in diversity and how to be a good coach, but you better be a good coach first, and I think he did a good job creating both and getting both in this building, so it means a lot to me.
Todd, how much better of a coach will you be the second time around with number 12 under center now?
No, it's always great to have him on the center. Finally, I get to play with him instead of against him. You know, he's not beating my head in. We'll have some spirited practices. We had great conversation. I think the world of the guy. I think we're more alike than you could ever know on the scenes, even though it doesn't look like it on the surface. He's probably a little more chill than I am, so I got to find a new thing other than that too, because Bruce took cool and Tom took chill, but you know, I got to find my niche in this whole thing without being a jerk about it. So I'm going to look for that and try to find that any way I can find it.
Todd, Bruce mentioned that he thought you should have got an opportunity to be a head coach after the Super Bowl, and I know you had interviews after that season and after the past season. How disappointing was it? How frustrating was it for you to get passed over? And were there moments of doubt or frustration that you may not get another opportunity?
It's not frustration. Anytime you get an opportunity, I think it's an opportunity to learn, to grow, to get inside organizations and see how they run things. And if you don't get the job, it's actually a plus, because when you go back to play those teams, you understand a good deal about certain things going on in the building. You can only control what you control. You try to be the best coach you can be, whether that's an assistant, quality control, coordinator, or a head coach. You be the best coach you can be, because you can live with yourself every day. And whatever job you get, you earn because other people see it. So sometimes the timing isn't right. There's only 32 of these things in the league. So you're talking about all the football programs in college and 32 in the professional league. It's hard to say you're disappointed, and to be even considered for the opportunity is really a blessing, no matter how many times you have to do it. You may get frustrated a little and tired a little, and I expect Byron to get one. I expect Goody to get one. I expect a few people on the staff to have head coaching opportunities and head coaching jobs. So it's just staying with the process and staying in the moment and being the best coach you can be, and let the opportunity take care of itself.
Todd, congratulations. Wanted to ask you about being a defensive-minded head coach. That's your background. That's what you're going to be calling this year, obviously, on the sidelines. The league has, over the last couple of years, been a younger, offensive-minded, driven type of process when it comes to hiring coaches. You're carrying the flag for the defensive coaches. What does that mean to you, and And why can defensive-minded coaches in today's NFL still have success?
I don't consider myself a defensive-minded coach when I become a head coach. I am a head coach of the entire team. There will be situational football that me and Byron will talk about, 3rd and 1s, 2-minute end of ball games. You become a head coach. You become a head coach, I think there's this thing going around that defensive coaches can't be head coaches because you don't see them, and I think it's quite the contrary. Obviously, Belichick is an outstanding head coach, and we have a few in this league that are very good head coaches. And if you look back at the Super Bowls with Dungy and Belichick and Tomlin and Parcells, you can go back years and years and find success as defensive coaches winning Super Bowls and being very good coaches. But, you know, it's a phase in the NFL, and people get caught up in the moment, but they're good football coaches on both sides of the ball. And I think we got to try to make that a little more fair and a little more even. And the only way you can do that is to try and stop people, and that's what we're going to try and do.
Congratulations, Coach. Bruce had said that he wasn't entirely sure what his job responsibilities will be. How can he help you assimilate into this new role when you guys have the draft, say, a month away?
Because he's been in it, he's seen it, he's done it, and up until this week, he's been involved in it. So there's a great deal he can help me on. You know, I found out Monday, so my draft process has strictly been about the defense, and he's got a great deal of film knowledge and knowledge on the offense, along with Jason and his crew, that understand what we're trying to draft and how we're trying to see him. Now, I will catch up in the next few weeks before the draft, but at this point in time, he's going to be a great help to me in the draft process because he's seen everything, he understands everything, and he kind of knows what we need. He knows what kind of offense we runs, and, you know, he can give me great valuable advice that way.
Todd, are you able to tell us who gave you the word that you were going to be the head coach and what your feelings were when it came to fruition?
Well, Coach Arians gave me the word. He called me on Monday, and you know, I was a little bit stunned, obviously, because you weren't expecting that. It's Owners Week and your week off. So, you know, he gave me the word on Monday and let me know. So I had 2 days to kind of calm down and see it all and go through. And, you know, I talked to Jason, I talked to Joel, and everything was going at a pretty rapid pace. And we sat down and talked yesterday for a while, and they were very comfortable. I feel very comfortable. I feel very blessed to even have the opportunity that they trusted in me. You know, and I'll talk to the coaches next week, and we all have a great relationship, and they know my door is open to talk to them as well as them talking to me, and we'll try to keep this train moving. But again, between Bruce, Jason, and the big effort of the Glazer family, here I am.
We've got time for a couple more.
Todd, over the last 3 years, I'm sure there are things that pop up where you say, if I ever get the opportunity to be a head coach again, these are the things I want to implement. This is how maybe I want to do things a little bit different. Is there one or two things that kind of stick out that you've learned over the last 3 years that you thought, this is how I have to proceed moving forward as a head coach if I get that chance?
No, I think Bruce hit it right on the head. I'm just going to be me. I cannot be him. I don't expect to duplicate the things he's done. He's won a Super Bowl in the division. I want to duplicate that part, but probably with some tweaks in a different way. There's a lot of ways to skin a cat, and I'm just going to do it my way. I'm going to do it my way. I cannot wear a Kango hat. I cannot be cool. I can wear a ski cap when it gets cold, but I can't wear a Kango hat. So I'm going to do it my way with a lot of advice from him, a lot of advice from the other coaches, but I'm going to usually say what I feel, and I'm a very honest guy. We're very straightforward there, and we'll get to know that as a group as well. So, you know, that's the best advice that I've gotten. I think when I first started in New York, you try to do things the right way, then you don't do it your way, you end up having regret. So I'm going to do things my way.
Sir, I know you're a family man. What was your family's reaction, and what does this mean for them to be here in Tampa long term?
Well, my wife was shocked, and she couldn't believe it. I told my son, who's now a junior, when we came here, he was a freshman, that I let him finish high school for 4 years and I wouldn't transfer him again because obviously with coaching, you're in a lot of different places. So I'm happy to fulfill that promise to him. Obviously, my younger son is 11 years old. The world revolves around him, so he enjoys life as it is. And my son in college was very happy. Todd Jr., he was very happy for me. And, you know, it's great because I stand up here and every time I do a press conference, I really try and talk to them because you have to teach your team as well as your kids when you're up here. You just can't be up here talking.